Hello and welcome to Downtime Fun. This is my second DIY puzzle by Karakuri, the Newton box kit set. This is based on the Maze box by Akio Kamei, made in 1983. At the moment I have planned 2 more episodes for this series, so please click the subscribe button now and you will not miss the next video. I had a lot of fun building the Urashima kit last time, so let's see if this is just as awesome, shall we? Okay, so this is how the puzzle will look like once completed, which looks really nice and quite different to the Urashima box. I am very interested in how the mechanism works, so we shall first open the packaging. All the packaging for the DIY kits from Karakuri looks basically the same. The instructions manual again looks very nice with the sharp and cheerful colorful prints, all in Japanese. I have mentioned this in my previous DIY video that even though I can't read much Japanese, the illustrations are quite clear and obvious, so the whole process of building the puzzle is rather easy. When opening the inside packing, the first thing that dropped into my hand is this screw, which wasn't required in the last kit. As you can see, I just prepared my glue, so I guess I just have to get my screwdriver later. I will try to be organized and first check all the parts and lay them all out, putting them in sequence, and then I will start with the first step, which requires this A piece with a smaller square already stuck into the bigger piece. There is also a hole in the middle of the piece, so I guess this is where the screw will go in. I will also need to get the walls for this part, making sure everything is correct, and start applying glue. Then there is this one wall which is slightly shorter than the other 3, and I have to make sure it is aligned properly. And I will glue the last wall, and the frame is now ready. Placing it carefully, making sure everything is aligned properly. Now I can apply glue and place the thick base onto the frame, making sure the small square is pointing outwards. Now the first piece should be done. Next is the lid. Checking which side has the nicer grain, and I picked this side. Now this part I had to do some guesswork. I can read some of the kanji and it says freely, so I guess there should be no limitations where these handles should be placed. Again, I tried to find the nicer grain and then use a ruler to make sure it's more or less in the middle of the lid, and align them just like the ones I see in the sample nicely, and the lid is done. Now to the third step. This is one which I'm not very sure, so I have to assemble it before placing any glue to make sure the cut out piece has to go into the groove instead of just sticking it onto the walls. And yep, the grooves will secure the piece with the cutout, so I think this is the intended way. Now I can just apply the glue and making sure the board sits properly in the grooves of the walls. And once done, I just have to make sure everything is aligned properly on the table. The cutout has a very interesting shape, and I already have some idea how the mechanism works. Now on to the fourth step. And here is where I went out to get my screwdriver and also letting the glue to dry a bit. First I have to assemble the parts so the lid slides into the first part, and then place the whole thing into the box I just made. It slides smoothly in and it's very satisfying. Turning the whole thing over, and this is where I have to use the screwdriver to screw the small little piece of wood into the hole. And this is where the magic happens, the mechanism. The little piece of wood which is secured by the screw will rotate freely, and it will only allow the smaller box to slide out when the small piece of wood is aligned properly with the cutout. This is such a clever idea, so simple and yet so effective. The whole process is very simple, but I just have to make sure the screw is in the proper position, not too loose that it doesn't hold the box properly, and it's not too tight so that it doesn't spin freely. Checking it a few times to make sure it works as intended, making some fine tuning to make sure everything is satisfactory and it works as intended, and now I can glue the base to cover up the mechanism. Now I am very interested to see if the mechanism will expose itself in the maze box, the proper box which uses a similar mechanism. If anyone knows, please let me know in the comments below, as I don't think I will be able to get my hands on the real thing anytime soon. Making sure the box works as intended, I can now pack everything up. Again, the whole process only took around 10 to 15 minutes, which was really fun, and it's not difficult at all. In the end, I realized there are some wood dust on the surface, likely it's there when the kit was sanded, so I just used my hands to dust them off the shavings as a finishing touch before letting my family play with it. And this is the final product, the Newton box, which I guess the name suggests it's using gravity to align the spinning piece with the cutout. I can actually imagine that this is a very tricky box if I don't know the mechanism, as there are only very little audible hints. But yet, now I have learned another puzzle mechanism which is really good, and this should help me when I try to make my puzzles in the future. Again, the quality of this kit is really excellent. Every time when the smaller box glides out from the shell, it felt very satisfying. I can imagine that the maze box will be even more incredible with the nicer material and the proper finish done by the expert. I really enjoyed building this, and I hope you like this video too. If you're interested to build your own DIY puzzle just like this one, I will highly recommend you to go to the Karakuri website to get one for yourself for around $20. I shall be posting another DIY video next weekend, so please stay tuned. Please click the like button now and also subscribe to my channel for more puzzle videos. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and in the meantime, take care. I will see you in my next video.